Well, if you play fantasy football, you've probably lost a star player or two. What's the deal with all these injuries? Well, joining me tonight on Valley View Casino and Hotel Sports Extra, he's the former head team physician for the Chargers. He now diagnoses NFL injuries on Twitter at Pro Football Doc and for the San Diego Union Tribune. Dr. David Chao. Dr. Chao, good to see you.
Thanks for having me. I wouldn't exactly say diagnose because that would imply that I'm treating and looking at x-rays and MRIs. I mean, maybe a video impression, a first impression or something. That's all of my practice, so I'm not diagnosing anyone on TV per se. But
fair enough, but by some counts, you're up to about 94% accurate in at least identifying the injury just by watching the video. How do you do that?
Well, really, for 17 years when I was at the Chargers, I sort of fell into this routine of, you look at a guy on the field, you look at him on the sideline, locker room, the next day after an MRI, and then every Monday morning with the head trainer, I'd go upstairs and look at film. I'm not even sure why, because, well, everyone looks at film and maybe there was something to learn. And so over 17 years, we got used to seeing what it was. And really, it's mechanism of injury, how it happened. And so that's what it is on TV now with, the 8 different replay angles and HD TV. It's actually pretty good. I'm not saying I can tell you it's his ACL and there's a medial meniscus or there's a bone bruise, but I'm saying that the category of ACL. And for across 4 years now, we've been documented at about 95%, mid-90s accuracy.
And you're finding that fans and media and even insiders are just eating up this information.
Well, it's an interesting world. When I was with the team, like this whole media world was foreign to me. I never talked to anybody or anything like that. So it's been kind of fun because it's a new hobby in a different world. It's something I can do at home with the kids and running around and the whole deal.
Now, we've seen players, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson last week, go down. It seems like there's more and more injuries. From your experience, is that the case?
Well, I'm not doing complete statistical analysis, and certainly it seems like there is more. But, media coverage nowadays, it used to be, the quarterbacks are always covered, but nowadays the backup left guard gets covered. And so it seems like there's more. But statistically, we wrote an article at the Union Tribune this week that this year, in terms of injured reserve through 8 weeks, is only about 15 or 20 players more than last year, like 290 versus about 270. And you say, well, that's more. Not really, because remember this year there's a new rule. You can bring 2 players off of injured reserve now. So teams are more likely to go on injured reserve. So it's really about the same. The difference is the all injured Pro Bowl roster is very different. Odell Beckham, JJ Watt, you name it. There's a lot of big guys on it. So everyone thinks there's more, but I think it's about the same.
Is there a position that you found to be more injury prone than others in the NFL?
Well, it depends on for what injuries. For example, there's a lot of talk about quarterbacks. If you look at the quarterbacks that get injured and the ones that don't, there's 2 types of injuries. The vast majority of the quarterback injuries are to the guys that go outside the pocket. The Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota types. The quote, Tom Brady's and Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning's and Drew Brees tend not to get injured as much because of the quarterback protections. But, Carson Palmer's a pocket guy, but, we can talk about offensive lines not being the same and, and with the salary cap and the practice time and college offenses not doing standard pass protection, so there's not as much time to learn. So it all trickles down.
When it comes to head injuries, a lot of people say that the future of the NFL is going to go downhill because of these head injuries. Where do you see the NFL in 10, 20 years?
Well, I don't know. I'm not clairvoyant. When I started with the Chargers, there's no question the NFL was the biggest sport, and certainly by the time I was done, the NFL was bigger than all the other sports combined, is what it felt like. I don't know where it's going to go, but all the research is good, and just even tonight there was some Twitter banter with fans and so forth about concussions and why can't you have a soft cap and whatever. A lot of that's been done, but what people have to realize is helmets were invented to prevent skull fractures, and they do a great job of that. Literally way back when people were dying from skull fractures and brain hematomas, they do a great job of that. They were never developed to prevent concussions. And the new helmet technology is good, but I don't know that it's going to be the answer.
Well, very interesting stuff. Dr. Chao, thanks for stopping by tonight.
Thank you.